They finally did it. They finally went and made a good episode of the Book of Boba Fett. I can't believe it. All it took was for them to take every character from the Book of Boba Fett and not include them in the episode, and instead make an episode of The Mandalorian. This was so weird. I genuinely enjoyed this episode. I really liked it. I thought it was really good and interesting. But I have no clue why it was episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett. This should have been an episode of Mando. This is so weird. This is just odd. I really enjoyed the episode. Like, honestly, the best episode of the show. But it was really weird, the fact that it's the Book of Boba Fett that this episode took place in. Sorry if I sound weird, by the way. I got the coof, so I've been suffering with that for the past few days, so I might sound a little weird. So sorry about that. Anyways, let's talk about the episode. Spoilers for episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett. If you have not seen it, there's your warning. So this episode opens up with exactly what I wanted from Boba Fett and Mandalorian that we haven't gotten much of in either, which is a bounty hunter hunting his bounty. In Mando, we got it in episode 1 of season 1, and not really much since. Like, ever since then, they put him on, you know, this whole journey with Grogu, which was great. I really enjoyed most of it. But it was, you know, when Mandalorian was pitched, it was pitched as like, oh, this is an Old West style sort of bounty hunter. He's going to be hunting bounties in the galaxy far, far away. It's going to be really cool. And then he almost never does that after the first episode. And then in Boba Fett, he states that he's not a bounty hunter like 1,000 times and doesn't hunt any bounties, even though that's, you know, what we know Boba Fett as. So it's like, oh, that's kind of disappointing. But we finally get Mando hunting bounties, and it's not even in his own show. And the person hunting bounties in Boba's show isn't Boba. So it's ridiculous. Again, I really enjoyed the episode. It's just the circumstances that this all happened under is hilarious to me, and I will never not find it funny how this all came about. But he hunts this guy down. It's a really sick scene. I love it. I saw some people complaining that he used the Darksaber. Like, why did he use the Darksaber? He should have used blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, if you look, he goes for the blaster first, but they stop him from using the blaster. So then the next best option is the Darksaber, because he can't grab the staff. That's not really practical from where he's at, like in that point in time. So he can't really grab the staff. So he grabs the Darksaber, and it's sick. I like seeing him being a little clumsy with it. He doesn't know how to use it, and also they're adding, you know, the lore to it of not really respecting the weapon or like knowing how to use it, just using it with brute strength, and that's not how you wield a Darksaber, and so he cuts himself with it. I like that. I like seeing him go to his 2 Mandalorians and talking to them about stuff, and then they have their whole drama about how'd you come to have the Darksaber. Oh, I want the Darksaber. My ancestors had it. Blah 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 blah. I thought that stuff was really interesting, and I liked it. And I was like, man, this is so much better than everything going on in the Book of Boba Fett currently. Instead of freaking Boba Fett fighting over Tatooine. Fighting the Pikes over Tatooine. I don't care about that, but this is actually interesting. And man, I really wish Disney cared as much about Boba Fett as they do Mando, because this was a good episode. And it makes you like Mando more. We got a bit more fleshed out with Mando. We saw that he really wants to see Grogu again. I like that. He's got some armor made for him. It was kind of weird that giant sphere only made like a tiny bit of armor for him, or I don't know if the I don't know what you call her, the blacksmith lady, I don't know if she just like copped the rest of it. She's like, okay, I'll make some armor for Grogu, but I'm copping the rest of this so I can make armor for me and my boy. Maybe that's it, I don't know. But I like seeing that. I like seeing all that stuff. It was really interesting. And then we got the fight between Mando and the big Mandalorian dude. I'm sorry, I don't know his name. And I thought that was really cool, seeing them throw down. And now, the part of the episode I didn't really like was when he goes to Tatooine and he talks to the curly-haired lady that really pulls you out of it. Someone on my Discord made a great point about it, talking about how these type of characters really just make you realize you're watching a show and you're not invested in it. It's like, it really pulls you out of the universe. Like, you're not like in it, you're watching Star Wars, you're pulled out and you're like, oh yeah, I am watching a scripted TV show, and this is very like, I don't know, kind of fourth worldy-esque, especially when Mando comes in and shoots like the Womp Rat she's fighting, and she goes, what an entrance. That's way too like wink at the camera for me. Like, I didn't like that, but thankfully she doesn't like ruin the episode or anything. It's just her part of the episode's a low light of the episode. Now, the thing that I didn't get is he gets like a Naboo starfighter. That's what he gets to replace his old ship. By the way, his old ship looked horrible. His old ship looked so lame, especially when compared to like Slave 1. His old ship from the previous seasons was just not good. So I was like, yes, I'm excited to see him get a new ship. And Naboo Starfighter's cool and all, but it doesn't make sense for a bounty hunter that sometimes needs to bring people in alive and also needs to bring in more gear and people with him. Like, that ship can't hold anything else. So that part's kind of weird. Him getting the Naboo Starfighter, I'm like, in the first episode of the show, he puts a guy in carbonite freezing. He can't do that in this ship. Also, he's always bringing along people in his ship for other jobs and stuff. Like, it doesn't make sense, the Naboo Starfighter. That's where I was like, man, he kind of needs a bigger ship. This is kind of weird. But it's still cool seeing him, like, fly around in the Naboo Starfighter and getting, like, some, they definitely did some nostalgia bait there when he flies around where the pod race took place. So that was really cool. Now, something I do want to address here is I see a lot of people saying, oh, yeah, this episode was good because Mando's a way better character than Boba. And it's like, no, it's because Disney cares more about Mando than they do Boba, or maybe they just don't understand Boba and they understand Mando considering he's an original creation of Disney's. That could be it. But it's not that he's a better character. Like, everyone has their favorites. Whoever you prefer, that's fine. But to say that he's better because of how horribly written Boba is in the Book of Boba Fett is asinine. It's stupid. That's like watching Attack of the Clones and basing your entire perception off Vader off of Attack of the Clones. Be like, oh man, this Vader guy, just a bad character. Just a bad character. Has nothing to do with the quality of writing. Just a bad character from the get-go. Like, that'd be really stupid. That same here. Like, if you... Boba in the original trilogy, the little bit he was in it was really cool. In the comics, canon comics I'm talking about, I'm not... everyone always likes to bring up the expanded universe, which there's a lot of cool stories there, but every time you do that, someone's always like, shut up, the expanded universe is not canon anymore, blah, blah, which is fine. Whatever. Valid criticism. There's a bunch of canon comics where Boba Fett is sick. He's really cool. So, we know that Boba works as a really interesting character, but not with the way he's written in this show where he's not Boba Fett at all. In this show, he doesn't act like Boba Fett. He's not Boba Fett. He's just some big, dumb, naive dumbass. Like, sorry. So, of course, Mando's more interesting because of the way he's written in this show. They write Boba like a big, naive dumbass to where they write Mando more similar to how Boba's written in Expanded Universe and in the canon comics as well. Like, Mando is actually is very heavily inspired by Boba. You can tell, not just, you know, design-wise being like, oh, he's a Mandalorian. Of course, they're all inspired by Boba. But I mean, in how he acts as a character, he is actually somewhat similar to Boba Fett. If you read the Expanded Universe and even the canon comics, he's actually very similar to Boba. So they pretty much sacrificed Boba at the altar of Mando to make him cooler, which is very sad because you could just have both, you know. But it seems like Disney doesn't realize that. That's kind of upsetting. I don't. Again, I'm just making a guess here. I don't know if that's the truth. I don't know if they actually did go, oh yeah, we're just going to we can't have both these guys existing, so we're gonna dumb down Boba to make Mando cooler. I don't know if that's actually it, but that is a guess. If I were to have to make a guess, I would say that it's possibly it. But the funny part is, like, during this entire episode, I'm like, man, when's Boba actually going to show up? We're going to have them meet, right? Nope. Boba never shows up. And keep in mind, this is episode 5 of, what is this, a 7-episode show? And while this episode was great, it was complete filler and adds nothing to the Book of Boba Fett. It adds plenty to Mando, but it adds literally nothing to the Book of Boba Fett. This is the definition of filler. A good filler episode. I liked it. Filler doesn't mean bad. One of my favorite shows that had a lot of filler was Avatar: The Last Airbender. That show was great, had a lot of filler, and they used the filler to get you more attached to the characters. And it was a great, like, some of the best episodes in that show were technically filler because it didn't move along the main plot at all or even address it. It was getting you more focused on getting you more acquainted with the characters and actually appreciating them. This show just did a complete filler episode. But it has, the problem with that is, you have 7 episodes. It's not like Avatar where you have like 20 episodes. You have 7 episodes, and you chose an episode to entirely not feature the character that the show is named after. Why did you do that? It's so weird. But it is what it is. I'm hoping that I'm assuming we're gonna get something badass with Boba by the end of the show. So that's the only thing that's kind of got me looking forward to at least the end. That and the fact that it is ending and I won't have to watch it anymore. Because, man, this show has been very disappointing from the get-go. But yeah, that again, I really did enjoy this episode. I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. What did you think of it? Did you like it? Because I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I thought the beginning was great, exactly what I wanted from a Mando or Boba show. I thought it was really interesting, all the Mandalorian lore stuff, how he had to admit that he did take his helmet off and he's got to go back to Mandalore to earn his way back to like the Mandalorian religion. I thought that was really interesting and cool. I thought it was a low point when he went to Tatooine and like got his ship. I thought that stuff was kind of stupid, but overall I really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was really good. I thought even comparing it to Mandalorian episodes, I thought this was a better episode than most Mandalorian episodes. I thought it was really good. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say. Please let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of episode 5 of the the Book of Boba Fett? Please let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.
Hey, skinny boy, saucy boy, I be running to the bank. Yeah, you know I hit the gas in the whip full tank. Riding past the ocean while I'm listening to Frank.